What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Idea Studio. I'm your voiceover host today, Data. And we're going to go for a walk in the rain. Basically, my buddy Frank was like, hey, don't be lazy. You got the GoPro, get out there and film while it's pouring out like this. And you know, he was right. So I grabbed the GoPro and out I went. Do me a favor, guys. Give the video a thumbs up. Like it. I appreciate that. The algorithm of YouTube's appreciates that. Give it the little tickle. That helps out the channel. Helps me out more than you guys could ever know. I mean, that's the best thing you can do for me is like the video. So if you do dig this, if you do like it, go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me. If you guys are new here, go ahead and click subscribe. Join the Idea Studio community that we have here on the channel. Now, this rain was just coming down ridiculously hard, guys. We're not even in rainy season yet, and it's just pouring out. You can hear it just pounding down around. You can see the drops. And it's funny because the main soil that I'm on, right, it doesn't really get a lot of flooding, but all the little, what they call yaks that shoot off of this soy definitely get some flooding. And on the main soy, on Sukhumvit 93, there's always little areas that flood considerably. And so like you could see on my yak as I was walking up, the top of my yak gets about 20 centimeters. Down where I am at the very end, I only get about 3 to 5. You see this yak gets like maybe 10 centimeters flooding in there right now. And it had already been raining for a bit, so this is starting to die down quite a bit. You can see all the drainage here, just water shooting off the roofs. And once we get onto 93, we're going to see some really wild rain. But it's funny because a lot of people say like, oh, Bangkok's a poorly designed city, or cities in Asia that flood like this are poorly designed. I would disagree. I would disagree completely. Tropical rain is so much different than the rain that we get in the U.S. Here I decided to show you guys my beautiful face for a moment with my mask. You got a mask up, that's the rule. Even if you're in the middle of nowhere outside, all throughout Thailand right now, if you're outside, there is a mask mandate. So make sure you wear your mask. But as I was saying, guys, just because you get this temporary flooding doesn't mean that the city's poorly designed. You're trying to design, keep in mind, Bangkok's old AF, right? Look at the flooding on this yak. That's like almost the entire thing. Bangkok's a very old city. Hundreds, if not 1,000 years old city. It's built on a river in a low-lying area because that's where cities were built, because that's where commerce happened. It made the most strategic geographic sense to build cities in those locations. With that being said, as the city is modernized, they've tried to keep up. However, there's only so much you can do with drainage in a city that old. And when you get rain that is this ferocious, this fast, and this short-lived, you're going to get water that backs up. Now, by the time I walked back to my house after this, all the water on my soy was evacuated on my little yak. So it comes and it goes. The key is to be smart when you're building in the future and understand that there are limitations to the drainage. And if you're moving to Asia, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, we all deal with these issues because we're all tropical countries, and we all get this rainy season where we get these tremendous rains that just downfall, and you get this quick buildup of water, and it's trying to go through these little drain ports and move out of different areas of the city, and it just gets backed up for a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. There is flooding that has happened in the city due to poor planning or other issues that have arisen. Like, at one point, I remember when I lived in Pachani Wet, someone had blocked, for whatever reason, the drainage, and the entire soil flooded, and someone had to go in and actually unblock the drainage. But when everything is working properly, you're always going to get these quick buildups of water that should, if everything is working properly, dissipate almost immediately once the rain stops. However, like when I grew up in New England, I never saw in 30 years that I lived in the Northeast, essentially, rain that came on this quickly, this torrential, and then went away immediately, and it was done. It's always not quite a torrential rain, a heavy rain that lasts, a couple of hours or a day, and you never get this massive immediate buildup of water. So I don't know that there's necessarily a solution for this unless you were to like completely gut out the city, elevate all the roads, build some type of completely new city in its place with a massive drainage system, like Ninja Turtle style sewers under the city, like 10 feet tall. I don't know if there's any solution other than that, especially since new parts of the city intertwine with old parts of the city. Now what's crazy here, guys, is most of the rain is essentially stopped. What you're seeing is water that's actually just still coming off the roofs of some of these buildings and draining out. Look at the back of this pickup truck. This is wild. This guy parked under the drains and it essentially filled the entire bed of his pickup, and it's still spilling over there. It's still spewing over the edge. So, it's wild. Now we're going to get up. This is soy 23. When we get up to 27, I'm going to show you guys a crazy flooded spot that actually just, it's weird because I didn't even think of this as being super low, but the yak right behind, or I guess it's a soy right behind the main soy, is super elevated. So it makes sense that I guess the entrance was so flooded. The funny thing is, in Bangkok, life just goes on. It rains like this, especially during rainy season, every day. It's going to rain like this every day during the rainy season. That's some murky water right there, guys. That's rough. So rainy season, this happens every day. Life just goes on. You jump in under an awning for a few minutes, or you pop your umbrella out. People still riding on their motorcycles. Life just goes on when this happens in Thailand. Everywhere else I've been in Asia, the same thing. Life just goes on. So here, check out how flooded this is. This is actually almost like 30 centimeters when you get into the middle of that little soy. It's about 30 centimeters down from the entrance. So quite a bit of buildup right there. Now again, that was gone by the time I headed back out. Not completely gone. That area was still like a few centimeters right in the middle, but with the majority of it gone. Water still just pouring off the roof here, and essentially there's just sprinkles coming down from the sky at this point. Let you guys look at me again here for a minute. Who doesn't love that? The mango shop right behind me, the mango sticky rice video is coming out in a few days, so that's where we got the mango. There'll be a pin to that in the video, so you guys will be able to find it. Yeah, check this out. The water just still falling off the roofs here. So much water falls in like a 1 hour time frame. It's so quick and it just happens so fast. And that is it. Once it's done, it's done. But you get so much water. It actually causes us a big issue with our plants because some of the plants get overwatered when it starts to rain like this. See, this pickup truck drained out pretty quickly despite being under these spouts. These spouts are something I never really understood. They just sort of leave them to shoot out onto the street. And you can see they're like little mini waterfalls in some areas, just squirting out water that's coming off the roof. And sometimes if it's not as forceful as this, it will just drop down on you while you're walking. It's a bit annoying. I wish they would do something a little bit better with that. Yeah, like see these. If you were walking here, that would just fall right on you. That's not cool. So I wish they would find a better way to mitigate that. But these are, again, old buildings. This soy has been around for a while. These buildings are old. Little phone booth action. Maybe I'll jump in here and you can see how short this phone booth is. I'm only 6'1", 185 centimeters. I hit the top of this phone booth and someone broke out two panes of glass here. So there's no door, there's no side glass. Thai post box. I'm really digging these Thai post boxes now. This is a cool house as well. These guys sell like stone and wood. It's like a hardware store, I guess, or a building goods store. And they have the house and the shop here. Great location right on 93. So you can see now, like most of the water, even on the main soy, is, I mean, obviously the road is wet. It's still raining out, but most of it's mitigated. All the flooding water's all the built up water's sort of gone away. like I said, Bangkok does flood. We have had floods. We are not immune to flooding. It happens. I believe it was 2011 before I moved here. They had a massive flood that the whole city essentially had to be evacuated. And Patumtani to the north, everything flooded. It was wild. And, you know, we've had little mini floods in different parts of the city since then. A lot of times that comes down to poor water mitigation management or poor flood mitigation management. And actually, I believe it was not that many years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, not a mayor, but like someone who ran a certain part of the city was actually fired for messing up the flood mitigation. They were just like, I think it was either the prime minister or the governor of the province was like, yeah, no, you're done. You can't fuck up like this. And look how the intersection here builds up in these intersections. It's just some of the drains are a little too full, or the road has actually sunk and there's a place where the water builds up. So you do get those spots. If you have a scooter, you have to be careful. That's one of the things that you definitely have to look out for, is that you could hit a puddle if you're driving your scooter in the rain, and that isn't safe. All the scooter guys that you see sitting under there, they usually hang out here on this corner, so they all jotted over there just to get out of the rain. And here's that soy that's lifted up. No buildup of water on there, but it's so high you wouldn't expect it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. Keep taking action. Make your ideas reality.